They're like a herd of fish, humans. They really are. They will walk in the same direction without even talking to each other, even if they're headed to the exact same place. Sometimes, they'll even bump into each other in the street, because they're way too focused on their little devices. I don't know why they get so excited about those, though. They're just tiny metallic gadgets that can usually fit in their hands, kind of. Some of these metallic things have lights, and when the lights flicker, the humans turn to their devices in a matter of seconds. It doesn't matter if they have a person by their side, or a cute dog, or a gigantic tree, or the ocean itself. They don't seem to care much about all of that. In traffic, they're like fish too. Each of them has their own kind of capsule with wheels, which is basically used in order not to walk. Some of them have to travel a ton of kilometers every day, so I understand that they can't walk that much. I don't know why they go so far, though. It's not to visit the ocean or the park or a park. They literally go from their house to a building where they don't have that much space, and, in the building, they stay until the sun sets. To be honest, I don't know what they do in these buildings, but it doesn't seem to be interesting anyways. They kind of file papers and such. Papers, papers, papers. Many of them look at the clock every 2 minutes and smile when it's time to eat lunch or drink coffee. Coffee is a brown liquid which helps them not sleep when they're supposed to file papers. In the building, each of them has their own table and a device larger than the portable ones. In these gadgets, they also do what seems to be very repetitive tasks. Sometimes I wonder why they have legs if they're not gonna use them, and it feels like their whole body is just a transport to their brain. They don't use their brains that much either, anyways. As I said, they get involved in tasks that don't require a mind. One day, I saw a celebration, but it just so happened to be a boring one too. There didn't seem to be any genuine connections at all. In fact, it was a group of people crammed together who, even if they were next to each other, had nothing to do with the others. Every one of them carried a glass and, every now and then, they filled up the glass with transparent, orange or black liquids. They asked each other questions, but these were very vague questions. I don't think anyone would be interested in knowing the answers anyways. They do not ask why the ocean is blue or what their purpose is. They don't seem to care about life lessons, and they don't even dare to play the music that they like if the music doesn't fit the party. People ask people what they do, and that may result in really dull conversations, unless one had a particularly interesting day with surfing involved, for instance. They say they went to work, filed some papers, got stuck in traffic, that their boss was being mean again, and that their cousin's birthday was going to be next week. I don't think nobody's life is boring, but I'll think it is if you phrase it that way. What relationship do you have with your cousin? Do you care, anyways, about their birthday? What about your birthday, do you care about it? What is the best gift you have received in your life? Do you find ways to make time in traffic productive? Do you listen to podcasts? If so, what are these podcasts about? What topics interest you the most? Do you wish to live the rest of your life the way you're living it now, or would you like to make some changes? If so, what changes would you make and how would you make them happen? They don't ask these things at all. I believe there's a lot to ask and a lot to discover on Earth. Every one of these humans that I'm talking to you about is a really complex being with organs that have to function in a very particular way in order for them to stay alive. They're all different from each other, and I think that's super fun. I don't know why there are tall individuals who don't like their height and small individuals who'd like to be taller. There are people who will go to hospitals and not because they're sick, but to modify some of their body parts. Some will make their corners of the mouth bigger, or the upper part of their legs bigger. I don't know why they do this, I find it weird. I don't think they know that every part of their being fits with the other parts in perfect harmony and balance. They just copy each other, they copy what they see in their gadgets. I think it's super crazy that the little ones are sent to buildings where they have to sit for many hours in a row. Many of the little ones wish to run, but they have to sit. I think they're training them so they are used to sitting down to work in the other buildings to file papers. In these schools, like they call them, the little ones learn. I think that's super interesting and necessary too. Still, with the big amounts of curiosity they have, I don't know why they're obliged to learn things they don't care about. Once there was a little girl who wanted to play her wooden instrument, but, in school, had to spend hours with weird signs that add or multiply others' signs. The one that liked to write had to look at papers where a little version of their world is portrayed. The little boy who liked swimming and marine animals had to study these other types of animals that are little and a bit ugly. I think they call them insects. Still, I saw some interesting things too. Once, an elderly woman fell on the sidewalk, and a young individual ran to help her out. I knew he did it from his heart, because there was surely nothing in for him. There wasn't even a soul to impress nearby. I also saw a dad teaching his son to ride a moving object that goes forward thanks to the spinning of your legs. That kid seemed to be happy, and his dad too. I also saw a pair of friends who were having super interesting conversations about the meaning of the universe and plans for their lives. I knew they were friends for the way they looked each other in the eyes. There was a spark there, and they were actually talking to each other, because they wanted to do it. They were invested in what the other person said, and they actually spent all the night talking until they fell asleep. I think that was cute. At first, I thought there were people who were like a herd of fish and people who were like people. And it's like that. However, I also think that every person has a person in them, if they wish to find it. While some try to get better, others just try to get by. If I was them, I wouldn't lose a chance to let my skin feel the ocean. After all, swimming is like flying in a way. If I was them, I would talk to the people around me, but I'd really talk. People walk by millions of others every day, and they don't care. That's millions of life stories lost, that's millions of possible connections lost. I think everyone is capable, if they wish to light the spark in each other's eyes. People have these bodies which let them do whatever they want. To give you an example, with their hands, not only can they type in their devices. They can play the guitar, write, draw, paint, play the piano, build things and hug each other. With their feet they can run, walk, go up and down in these jumps and kick a ball. Actually, if I could list you all the things they can do with each part of their body, you'd think I'm lying. Besides, their body is attached with a brain and a spirit, and all of these things make up each individual. I think this fusion is way too incredible to be the fruit of coincidence. No one seemed like a coincidence to me, I can assure you. Nothing on this planet seemed to be a coincidence. Sometimes, I'd like to talk to them. I know I can't, but I would if I could. I know they have all this potential inside of them, and, many times, they don't even use 10% of it. They have the potential to build great things because, even if many file papers, others have built the buildings in which the papers are filled. There are people who smile every day, and there are people who don't look at the clock every 2 minutes. Time just flies in their perception. Did you know perception changes everything in these individuals' world? An hour for someone can seem like a minute to another one. I also think they have the potential to be good people if they wish to do it. I wish everyone was like the gentleman who helped the elderly woman as she fell down. Oh, humans. I wish they could see the way I see them. They're way too used to everything. They're used to themselves, they're used to each other, and they're used to the wonderful world they have the luck to live in. There's different seasons every day, and even different seasons inside one single day. They've already got all of this inside them, and they have no idea. I wish they could see themselves from a stranger's perspective. If that was possible, I don't think a single one of them would live like a fish ever again. I think they'd unlock what they already have inside of them, and be able to smile all day.